start talking. Am I correct? I'm not.
Check out my sniper. I did not just get a
Hydrotalupa? Or no. Hydrotupa. How the fuck do you pronounce this thing's name, Estelle?
They call it the Hydro-Yulmir.
The Hydro-Yulmir? Yulmir. How about I call it the male ocean? Because that's what the fuck it looks like.
It's not an ocean.
I know, but I'm just saying, if it can has a few of the features.
Well, Johnny, that's not even an ocean. Maybe it is, but like... I think it's just a fucking hydro element. Just like an actual fucking embodiment.
Let's just say it's... I'm doing the arcon quest. I'm not gonna say shit, but fucking God, it's a bitch to run around. Hydra died. No, I want to say something, but I might get in trouble.
Why?
Because I'm on YouTube right now. I just imagine saying it and then they're like, oh, what I'm about to say is very, very bad.
Great! Type it then.
Okay, give me a minute. Alright, conquest begin!
Wait, type it.
I know I am, just give me a minute.
No, type it. So how does it feel to have Kiana now?
I did not test her out at all. But maybe I'll try her out with, I hate those artifacts. Is she made for being DPS, by the way?
No, there are probably people who made her one. But still.
I'm just doing the arcon quest.
I just did it out of pure whim.
Let's begin. Okay, it's telling me I don't need any.
What was the hotel team? The Go Lucky team? I forgot what team's off that was.
The Go Lucky?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Well, I feel like a fool.
Let's begin this bitch. Give me a second. Okay, just to say, YouTube, any of the songs that play on my videos, you gotta remember that I play on PS4 sometimes, and it's hard to freaking type shit, you know? And also, fucking, it's the game. It's the game, it's not me. And again, none of the music in these videos are mine. They belong to their owners. Yeah, you guys may say I don't give credit, but at the same time, I am fucking playing this for fun. Okay, I'm playing these games for fun. Sometimes I need music to fucking get in the zone. I'm sorry, I had to say something, guys, to someone.
The wind knows
Some people.
Shine down! Let's light it up!
So that any music that plays in this fucking in my live, I'm not gonna get in trouble for it, because you know YouTube like to do that shit. You know, playing how many fucking what do you call
There is no
it?
escape.
Strikes I got just because the music was playing in your car. Remember? I got so many strikes just because the music that was playing in your car. Yeah. So now I'm gonna freaking aggressively say every time, none of the fucking audio in this freaking shit is mine. Remember that, YouTube. And don't freaking say profanity shit. Freaking everyone on YouTube now uses profanity. We got little kids showing middle fingers. We got fucking kids yelling, "Fuck you, challenge me 1v1." We got a shitload of slurs.
A lot of it too. A Fontanian would most likely dissolve the moment they fell in.
Oh.
Right! You can't go down if there's primordial seawater. It's too dangerous and it won't be any... don't get by my wrong.
No, you're right.
Okay, before freaking YouTube even says
things.
shit on a strike,
Maybe
we
the
are
only way
not
left
serious.
Is forward.
There,
In that
I said it
case,
aggressively,
do
I
you
don't
want to
care.
wait for us here?
Every time YouTube's about to do some shit, I will say it
The
with
water
anger.
levels here are unstable. I'll go together with you. Perhaps we'll find the exit.
All right. Oh no, it's a dead end! Let's try climbing over from the side.
Remember, YouTube, that's what Genshin sounds like. Don't worry, I will aggressively tell YouTube to fuck off. No. In all honesty, they shouldn't even be saying that that's a crime in the freaking YouTube community, because we got freaking videos of Nazi shit. Okay?
Wait, there's something wrong.
No, it's just that nowadays anything that seems offensive that I think YouTube will freaking get mad about, I say it aggressively just because of the music that's in a car in a game got me in trouble. That one of my freaking videos were taken down.
It's funny because, like, he got demonetized because of me. And he might get demonetized again for just saying...
That's why...
Hell Hydra. You know?
The other version is Stellar. No, the other version. We say Hell Hydra because Hell Hydra is from a Marvel reference.
Yeah, Jay, you should have expected it.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see if I get attacked. We'll see if I get attacked again from YouTube. We'll see.
Demoiselle, what are you doing here?
Maybe she just wants some time to herself, my lord.
Yes, it would appear so.
That's quite...
Oh.
In all honesty, these things shouldn't even be getting me in trouble unless I put my video on
no.
kids.
No, I'm fine. I was just trying...
Do you remember...
We were headed to...
Ah, right.
Oh?
Miss Novia.
No, I bet you.
Mr.
I don't.
Malus,
I don't
and
know
Mr.
if it'll
Silver
happen or
too.
not, but fucking, I bet you the minute I
It's good
hit
to see all of
even
you.
a million mark, YouTube's
how
gonna
have
be
you
on my
been?
ass for every little thing.
I've
bet.
been great. Thanks to your help, those
Yeah.
bothersome merchants finally realized that I wasn't the one they were looking for. What? They were knocking at my...
Never fails.
Sometimes.
Oh, yes. Miss Navia, these are some flower seeds that I prepared. Please take them. They're very... I don't know what...
Did you?
Why,
Well, I
we
know
can have
YouTube.
as many pots as you'd like, demoiselle.
Perfect.
In
In
all
that
honesty,
case, we'll swap out some of the
I'm
decorative
surprised
plants.
Very
so
well.
far YouTube has not
Right.
stopped my live. So that
Excuse
means
me,
they
madam.
are on the run and
If I'm
scared.
not mistaken, your name... That's right. No, it's not. And why are there so few people
Try me.
around here?
We must
Try
mind
me,
the time,
YouTube,
Dem-
I fucking dare you. I'm
we do?
live, you can hear me.
Well, now,
Miss Navia, here you are.
My trial?
Yes, she's right, Demoiselle. It's just a...
Oh?
We're dissing YouTube.
Streaming Genshin.
We're dissing, I'm dissing YouTube right now.
We can cuss all we want. We can be sailors, but we can't say Hitler. Hi. Yeah.
Good thing you lagged out for that, because you almost said it, but you know, I've already said it already.
Just say Hitler.
Look, it's...
And her two attendants are with her. Goodness. Everyone's finally here.
There sure are a lot of people here to see the trial. And they all seem... Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien,
Get a strike on
Essen.
talk when I post
Why are so many people here? And why do I have no rec... And as for the judge... Huh? Where's Monsieur Neuvillette?
please sit in the defendant's seat. Don't worry, Silver and I shall accompany.
All right.
Typically, it...
Hey, what kind of place do they think this is?
Come on. Do they have any idea what they're doing?
Seriously.
Enough with the whispering! Could someone please tell me where Monsieur Neuvillette is?
My dear Miss Navia, have you not yet realized what you've done? As all here know, you are Master Callus's... After you took over the Spina, you treated all of us just like the late Master Callus had. If anyone in need reached out to you for help, you responded. Not only you, but your butler, your subordinates, nearly everyone in the Spina di Rasula fought for the well-being...
Wait a moment. Aren't you just proving...
Yes, correct. Absolutely right. And that is why you stand accused. You have helped so many people get through so many difficulties. You are one with us. We are one big family. All of us who are from Poisson, inextricably linked. And with... Therefore, this fair and honorable court shall declare you guilty, and you shall stay here. You will be together with...
Huh? Everything you have said is correct. I have indeed done a lot for my hometown, and I would be willing to be with you all, but what is the purpose of having me stand here like this? What is there to discuss?
Oh, well,
dying. They
if
haven't
that's what
realized-
you
they
think,
haven't told
then
her.
I...
How wonderful!
I know all these people. Why are they laughing?
They're dead.
I seem to remember now. Yes.
Wait just a moment. This isn't right!
Malus?
What was that, Mr. Malus? Our conclusion is very clear and unanimous. Let the court judge her now.
Stay here, Navia! You're one of us!
Demoiselle, don't admit guilt. This trial means to keep you here forever.
I wish to exercise my right to defend Our Lady. Mistress Ronville, you only know of Navia's goodness, but nothing of her utterly independent mind.
She was born a free and independent spirit.
Her actions cannot serve as proof that she identifies herself as part of any group. She merely acted as an individual, extending... Please do not mistake her action.
Really? As an individual, you say? Don't forget, we are all Fontanians here. This, even if everything is... Now, I speak for everyone. Our opinion is consistent. Navia should stay. We and Navia are one.
And you would call this justice? Preposterous. You are merely jealous that Demoiselle still has a chance to exist as an individual. Have you forgotten how much you all once longed to become individuals? To become independent?
Do you mean to defy our...
If your justice is flawed, then why should we acknowledge it?
As you said, we can also have our own justice. Silver and I shall and that is how we...
My head...
Demoiselle.
Silver, it hurt. I remember now. Everything that seemed... Karina, Desiree, Joyville, Jolien, Essen, and Mr. Giverny and Mrs. Burnett, who we met earlier. Even Malus and Silver. I don't want to admit it, but...
I knew it.
But they're all dead.
Dying.
Don't be afraid. And don't admit guilt. We will protect you to the...
Absurd! Who are you to say that she cannot be judged? We are the majority, and in the nation of trials, the majority is absolute. Don't let them escape!
Mr. Malus and Mr. Silver, must you be so stubborn? How could the two of you possibly hope to stand against the collective? Do not resist. This judgment is fair and just. Navia belongs to us. After all that happened, she should not be left alone in Poisson.
Yep, there we go.
What are you saying?
No more excuses.
He says we're jealous. Jealous? How could she possibly be an
What's with these people?
Who's jealous of her?
She belongs to us!
Miss Navia, she...
Silence.
That's... Monsieur Neuvillette!
Such commotion is prohibited in the court. The accusations you just presented are nonsense and cannot constitute a proper trial. The court will adjourn for the rest of the day. In this, I shall hear no objections from any...
Our thanks, Miss...
Please leave with me, Miss Navia, while there is still time.
But...
Go on now, Demoiselle. This is your only chance to leave this place.
Malus.
My apologies. I couldn't resist making one little joke once I realized that this shall be our last goodbye.
Malus... Silver...
Quickly, you must come now.
Goodbye.
Farewell.
Oh no. I'll be right back, guys. This will be paused.
Wow, this is awkward. Oh, that is... Damn it. I didn't want to kill my towel. Fucking heal. Damn. Hey, what does Tornari use again? This stuff?
What?
What does Tornari use?
Deep memory or Gilded Dreams. If you want to, like, debuff the, like, reduce the danger resistance for the enemy. But if you already have, like, a unit, if you already have a unit with without it, you could go for Deepwood. But I'm assuming you have Deepwood on, Kirara, right? Full Deepwood?
Well, some of it. I only have a 30 piece. I'm looking at 4 piece. I want to change some of it. Some of it is good, don't get me wrong, some of it is good. I don't want crit rate bad. What is that floating orb? Is he a orb? Nah, I'll do it later. Wait. Ooh. Why does that... Wait, Estelle, did you, like, explore through... You know, you probably... Yeah, like...
What?
Forget what the fuck I just asked. Yeah,
explore what?
The new area.
Well, yeah, a little bit, but... I'm just only hopping into Genshin to do my dailies, and that's it, because, oh boy, that farming for Rishi's weapon just broke me, man.
I think the one that hurt most me would have been the one that hurt the most is probably Zone. Where the fuck does this tree remind me of Asgard? There's probably new energy. Let's see that. That's YouTube. Yeah. Come on.
One in the fan?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Perhaps those two Oceanids were the people you saw in your dream.
I always...
Please come with me.
Neverlet, are you okay?
Hmm? Oh, I am quite all right. Perhaps...
Why do you look so stiff, Olive? Oh, Paimon knows. You're the type who feels awkward when there's nothing to talk about, right?
I merely thought that we should give Navia some time to her...
Huh? Why didn't you just say so then? Don't you think it's even more awkward to call us over like this and then have nothing to...
I suppose so. Ah, Sigewinne. I hope all is well with her these days. Her work in the fortress of Meropide has not been too much for her.
No way! Don't worry. She's an amazing...
I see. Well, that is good. I have always worried that Sigewinne would need a lot.
Oh, and the Duke also says hi. Even though Sigewinne made him do that. He hopes that you haven't been overwhelmed by all that's happened.
Thank you. I have indeed been busy lately. And I also hope that everything...
He still doesn't know what to tell. So, Neverlet, you're probably quite the...
Yes, of course.
Cheater.
This isn't going in...
Yes, in fact. Amid my astonishment, I ran into the name.
Yeah, we originally planned to meet up with...
I don't remember them saying that. I'll check it out later.
Love of destructive.
I'm sorry to have kept you all waiting like that. I'm feeling much better now. I guess we should get going again. Will you come with us, Monsieur Neuvillette?
Yes, if you wouldn't mind my company.
All right! Another one joins the party! Let's get going then!
Imagine being stuck in the cage. Couldn't be me.
Yeah. Get out of here! Take cover! Why do they never miss?
The wind knows me.
Illusion shattered!
Stabilize!
Huh? Into the wind! There is no escape!
Gather! The wind knows me.
Illusion shattered!
Stabilize! One with nature.
Dada Kundala.
Don Kodala. What is that? Where's Ellie Muscat? I need to ask her what a Don Kodala
Another
means.
unstable path. Watch your step.
Jump! No. In Genshin, Ellie Musk is like basically a translator for cooking hilly girls. And like, when this one hilly girl died, he just said some words and I'm like, what does that mean?
It's fine. One with nature. There is no escape.
Imagine I looked it up and I'm like, oh shit. Don't fall. Don't fall. Raiden, you can do this. Just climb.
It seems we're almost at the top. Keep it up!
Well, not Ragnarok, but it makes me think that a Triass on Loki can't swim. I find it.
You only went up to 75.
Well, let's try the vault key. Oh, so there's 3.
The Black Sword, refinement rank 1, level 75 of 90. Crit rate 23.9, base attack 431. 400. This thing needs to beat 497, and if it doesn't, I just wasted my time with this shit.
Pretty much.
But
Yeah. Let's light it up!
Revenge knows me.
Illusion shattered!
This
John
is
with the
order.
meatball.
One with nature.
No, cause it off. I didn't mean it.
Again.
I didn't
knows me.
kill. Come on, right and kick their ass, right and kick their ass. Why did it sound like it said Dodoko? Are they scared of Klee?
What?
Nothing. Don't worry about it.
Honestly, Jay, they could be scared.
Like they say Dodo Kondala. So when I'm hearing that, I'm hearing no, cause you see those hilly trolls that have the scythe and stuff like that. When they die, they say Dodo Kondala. I'm like, Dodoko? Are they scared of Klee now?
I mean, who wouldn't be scared of Klee?
A terrorist and arsonist. The Spark Knight. The Terrorist Knight.
Adventure time! Off we go!
Yeah, honestly, when they were saying red, I was like, you're talking about Klee?
Looks like we've reached the end.
This is the place. There should not be any other hidden space.
The path sure had some twists and turns, but it turns out that this place isn't actually that big.
You're talking about Klee,
Stone slates. It seems like...
Perhaps we should just leave them be.
There are 4 locations in total, but only 3 stone slates. The slate that should be in the first empty spot is missing.
The surrounding walls also show signs of damage.
There's something written below. Let Paimon see. Reason dictates that this nation be destroyed. I shall record the history of its future here in its past.
Is it one of those
say what?
It feels like someone left these slates and these words here for a purpose.
It's one of those things.
But does he mean that Fontaine should be...
That would fit the circumstances dictated by the prophecy, yes. Indeed, the slate's contents correspond to it. Take the second slate, for example.
There's a person kneeling here. She seems so dedicated. And there's a whole bunch of other people behind her doing the same. She's facing this... what is this? Some kind of island in the sky?
And is that Lady Farina in the third image? Did the Hydro Archon fall into the water?
And is that a ring of people around her? Paimon doesn't...
The fourth image. I know this one. This exactly matches the content of the prophecy.
The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. More information should be hidden in these slates, but I fear I cannot easily uncover it, most likely due to us missing the first slate.
Don't blame yourself, Monsieur Nervalet.
Ooh, Paimon's getting the chills just looking at... This says that it's the history of the future, right? That means the prophecy's sure to come true.
I really hope it doesn't mean that.
Still, Paimon...
Done.
That's right! If the images are in chronological order, shouldn't the fourth, the waters drowning Fontaine, come before the third? Where the Hydro Archon herself falls into the water?
And yet the order is reversed here.
If we go by timing, Lady Farina only emerges in the third image. That means that the person in the second image might be the previous Hydro...
Egeria, then. I had never met her, but her appearance here does match the previous Archon kneeling before the floating island in the skies, as if confessing a sin.
Did she herself commit that sin? And also, I'm still wondering why these ancient stone slates are here at all. Judging from their contents...
But who would have created these slates and left these words here?
It seems that any further clues will have to come from Farina.
In that case, there's no time to lose. There's nothing else to be gained here, so let's head back first.
Yeah, we better get somewhere safe for now.
Oh my god, for a good second I was like, that's
Adventure
the
time.
end of the freaking quest.
Off we go!
But it just says challenge completed. Need to check some stuff before I continue on. Let's see. I have 5. Okay, that was not expected. Hydro treasure compass. Ooh, yeah. I need to definitely craft the hydro treasure compass.
It just shows that you have to take 2 for arms.
If you guys want, I am watching the live on my phone, so if you guys want to do a quick Q&A while I'm playing the game, go ahead.
He messed up my hairline.
If you guys want to do a Q&A. I am doing the Archon quest, but I'm willing to answer a few questions.
I don't really care about that.
If you guys want.
He messed up my hair.
Let's split up here. I'm going to check on what's happening with the Spina. You know how it is. There's some things you just need to be there for yourself.
You still have energy for that, Navia? Paimon's already
And if you guys
beat.
can, share the live, please.
I'll depart as well. Thanks for your hard work. Traveler, I will go talk to Farina tomorrow morning to ask about the stones. I'm sure that you're concerned about this matter as well. If you have time, drop by my office. I will share the results of our discussion with you.
Are you really gonna talk to her about this directly? Will that be a problem?
She has long been harboring secrets and will not give them up easily, which makes it all the more my duty to ensure that she understands the present situation.
Alright, we'll leave it in your hands then.
I will be carefully considering my words.
Traveler, Paimon, our safe house at the Fleuve Cendre is always open to you, as ever. So please don't think you're... All right. I'll...
That's a good question.
Do you not draw yourself?
I do, but it just looks stupid if I tried to explain it.
I was about to ask you, can you send me a picture?
Oh, okay. You could have just said that the first time. Alright.
We're finally back!
I thought you knew
Welcome
the
back. We've got a special menu
I
prepared
always
for you
ask
two
my friends,
tonight.
Can they send me a picture of what they
And there's
done
good
and stuff
food
like
too! Navia,
No,
no,
I usually...
the boss is the best.
I expect, like a description or something.
Paimon's already starting to...
Oh, that voice. Is
The
that who
fuck
I
are you
think it
doing
is?
here, bitch?
Which I'm neither of that.
It's you two. What are you doing in Fontaine?
Jiggle physics. Miss Jiggle Physics.
Seriously, nobody just uses a scry glass whenever they've got time to just see who they'll meet on the road.
Still, we didn't expect to see you here.
Well, I have some business to attend to here, so I booked a hotel in the city. I was just out for a stroll when I bumped into you. Why did you think I was from Fontaine, though? Is that because Magistus doesn't sound much like a Mondstadter surname?
Yeah, let's...
Well, I used to have my own surname, which was, well, some other thing. Either way, the old hag told me when she took me as her disciple that the first step to being a great astrologist's pupil was to change that name. There was nothing for it, really. She really is amazing at astrology, so I changed my name to what it is now according to her wishes. To my surprise, however, Magistus is not the name of some ancient house or clan.
Nope.
Although it is used by us in place of surnames, it generally just means great.
Wow! Imagine including a boast in your name. Wait, are you gonna have to put that into your genealogy as well?
I reckon so. In any case, I'd give my disciple a name like this as well, if I were to take one.
I think you did show me some...
Astromancer Barbeloth Trismegistus.
Whoa, that's a long one. Does it also mean great or...
My name means Mona the Great Astrologist. As for the old hag, hers is, in plain speech, the thrice as great scholar of the stars. Just take it as a title specific to astrology.
Thrice as great? That's so petty.
I know, right? That's just how she is. She used to call herself Magistus, actually, but when she took me in, she changed her name to Trismegistus.
Talk about excess.
Magistus is thus the calling card of our school, so to speak, which makes it about the same as a surname.
That sounds terrible! But anyway, you're not Fontanian, are you, Mona? You're from Mondstadt.
Well, I was born in Mondstadt, yes. My parents migrated to Dorman Port, and I traveled with the old hag for a while, after which I settled down.
Oh, that's a good thing then. At least we know you won't be
Speaking of that, I'm sure you're aware that a bunch of things have happened here in Fontaine, right? I know you're not a local, but I'd avoid getting too close to any water that looks strange. There's something ominous about it. Well, the water, I mean.
No, just do it. Just make what you think is best for you.
That was the main reason, yes. Just a while back, the Steambird invited me to take part in a panel and speak about the circulation of the prophecy. The invitation was sent quite early on. I don't think anyone expected Fontaine to be in this.
What do you make of that prophecy, Mona?
What I can tell you is that I'm an astrologist, and that this prophecy concerns the fate of Fontaine. I'm afraid that this is not something that just anyone can do. If I could do it, you would no longer call me an astrologist, but a visionary. But on the flip side, the prophecy is so huge and powerful that it must surely come from a powerful visionary. Its contents involve the fate of the world. Disregarding it would be a mistake.
A visionary? Sounds really powerful and all, but does such a person really exist?
Of course. The old hag could do it, and I'd bet there are others amongst those Hexenzirkel colleagues of hers who could do something similar.
Thanks, Mona. You're amazing.
Oh, well, this is something only I can do after all.
That's the greatest of astrology!
Indeed, indeed.
Oh, sorry. I came to see what all the commotion was about. If there's anything you need...
Oh, whoops. Guess we were getting a little too carried away there. Well, I'll go tend to my own business now. If I receive any news, I'll be sure to come find you two again.
And there she goes, quick as rushing water. And here we are with the Spina guy giving us suspicious looks. Right, but we were able to recruit Mona's help, didn't we? Our Fontanian friends will thank us. Good morning. To be honest, I'm still feeling kind of sleepy. But it's time to get up, traveler. We agreed to go see Neuvillette, so let's pack it up and get going.
Fine, go ahead. Go ahead.
am I going? I'm going up. Testing? Can you guys hear me?
I'm basic.
Nope, they cannot.
An Orthodox simpleton.
I think Sean and
Huh? Wait, what?
Because I legit just said, Mad Bud t-shirt. That's it.
I wanted to be a donut with a Pokemon shirt.
Reading glasses with shades. But that's it. That is it. Nothing special. Unless you want to add the supernatural. One fun one. All I was just black shorts and a hoodie and my school uniform, and that's it.
Same here, my dude. Same here. It's just that I wore long pants. Same here, Mike. Same here. I would always use long pants, uniform, and a jacket. I was the kid that they would. I was the kid they thought would pull a gun. I was the quiet kid playing Pokemon in any game I had.
Oh, wow. Where did that come from?
I still wear that when I'm going out sometimes.
It's comfy. It's comfy. Because when I was still going to San Sanchez, I know you have this Sean, but I would always wear the UFC shorts.
Oh, that's basically like what every Simon Sanchez would do, wear inside clothes. That's what they would call it, just wearing inside clothes.
You're here! Finally!
Is
Monsieur Girvelette and Lady Farina, they seem to have gotten into a dispute.
God can tell you that all he sees is we go to the fucking gym.
Like I said, I've already explained everything.
And yet the problem has not been properly solved. There is little space for It is not my intention to offend you, but please, tell me where you stand. You are the Hydro Archon Focalor, are you not? Look at this. This is a list of the victims from the recent Poisson incident.
You mean they're all...
We did not arrive in time to avert this disaster, and I will not have it happen again. I will say this once more. You must tell me everything you know. Yesterday, I found 3 stone slates in some ancient ruins near Poisson. Do you know anything about those?
Seriously? You're questioning me like this is a court case now. I don't know anything about that. But you found them in some ancient ruins, you say?
That's correct, which is why I came to ask you some questions. There should have been 4 slates, but one of them was missing. The other 3 feature different images that seem to correlate to the prophecy.
The prophecy?
The second of these slates depicts the previous Hydro Archon Egeria kneeling before a floating island in the sky, as if confessing something. Do you know nothing?
I don't. I've never seen such slate.
I'll ask you again. Do you really? My deciphering of the slates indicates that the Hydro Archon Egeria once had to confess to, or apologize for, a certain sin. If anyone would know about it...
All gods don't have the same secrets, you know. She was herself and I'm me. Is it really so strange that I know nothing? I understand your concerns, but I'm sorry.
Forgive me for saying this now, Lady Farina, but I have long known of your various secret investigations into certain matters. There are several indications that you have been investigating the prophecy. This is not strange in itself, considering that you are the Hydro Archon. But it is strange that you should also claim to not know any of Egeria's secrets, as well as do nothing following your You have never been as superficial as you have presented yourself to be, nor are you a fool. And yet, your behavior is very inconsistent.
Since you know about my secret investigations, then you should know I'm actually working to take care of it. There's no point questioning or suspecting me. You're the Eudix, but you're still my subordinate. You should be just trust in me. You're Archon, and do as I say. Never mind whether you can truly convince yourself to or not.
I know.
It'll all turn out fine.
I know she's just putting on an act.
That's
but
all I have to say.
Damn it,
We do not discuss this matter again. Oh, the opera's about to start.
She crying.
I don't even know if I can still do a bow tie.
Did Farina not notice us standing by the door? Wonder what's up with her. She was smiling. She didn't seem in the mood to care if we were listening in or not.
I assume you've been outside for a while now?
Oh, you noticed. Seems Farina didn't even realize we were here.
She was in a great panic, though I cannot discern the reason. Our discussion reached impasses time and again, a state of affairs that we cannot allow to continue. Still, I do not understand. Dialogue is the basis for understanding, so why did she keep refusing to engage? Everyone in her inner circle has noticed that she is hiding some secret. The issue is her attitude. I fear that she will not we may have to create a situation in which she will have no...
Oh?
Normally, people will only reveal the truth when standing trial. Perhaps we must have the Hydro Archon
But Farina's seen so many trials, and she's really good at dodging questions. How do we make sure that she won't just slip away?
We will need to consider this thoroughly, join forces with various parties, and then do what we can. If at all possible, I would prefer to recuse myself from this affair, but we must prevent the prophecy. This may be cruel to her, but all Fontaine is in crisis. The information a god possesses is too precious, and so we must take a chance on. But who will lend us their aid to do such a...
I know, I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Don't worry about it, and I already finished it.
Why not? Wait, why not make it a red mask? Then I would just look like Bad Boy Halo.
Exactly.
And somehow that would be that make it much worse. I thought his face was black. No, it wasn't.
You racist, mother.
You racist. Alright,
it's a rough sketch, but yeah.
Well, speaking of which, it was pretty smart of you to think of hiding here.
Poisson was just involved in a disaster, so it's presently
And here you are drinking tea like it's the most natural thing in the world.
That's what family should do. Sit and enjoy a...
It's nice to enjoy tea here, you know? Care for...
Lend me your ears, everyone. Or perhaps one of you might like to start us off. How about you?
Me?
Then, how about you, good...
I fear that I will cause the mood on this boat to become as somber as it is in...
Well then, I guess we're lucky we've got a local like me to organize things.
That was a little long-winded, don't you think?
Oh, you might be right. Anyway, to cut to the chase, our friend here, the Traveler, has brought us together to discuss something. As for what that is, well, let's start by saying that we'll be pooling our efforts together to create a series of...
Oh?
Well, it's just an expression, really. One that I just learned from Chlorand, and used on the spot. So, let's invite her to explain and...
Huh? Didn't you say that you would be...
Oh, come now. Your work doesn't involve much public speaking, right? This is a good chance to practice. You might even pick up some fancy oratory tricks to impress your boss with in the future.
I see. And what does my boss say?
He is glad that you consider him your boss.
God damn, she fucking just played that.
In that case, do any of you have experience hunting?
Not that I recall.
Fremine and I once used a wooden stick in a basket to catch wild rabbits when we were younger. As for Lynette, oh, right. You were sick that day.
I've also gone diving to catch some fish before.
I'm afraid not. You may or may not have heard, but Fontaine once played host to a group known as the Marechaussee Hunters. Though that was their name, they did not hunt animals, but rather various monsters left behind by the ancient dynasty of King Remus. Today, Fontaine's monster population has already thinned greatly, so the hunters have blended back into society, taking up arms in other lines of work. They even left a unique methodology of hunting in their way. A trap comprises of the following components: bait, a trigger, and a containment device. Sometimes a lethal implement will also be necessary to deal with the prey. So, if we were to build a trap together, right now, what would you choose to build it with?
For me, I would prefer something basket-shaped. Pigeons and rabbits will see the bait and naturally enter the snare. Our line of work requires a deft hand, and we're some of the best in the industry, so you can count.
You used some of those techniques while moving the people of Poisson, didn't you? My subordinates mentioned that you even performed some magic for the bawling children.
Yes, and I even managed to gather some intelligence in the meantime. I'm quite the multitasker, if I do say.
I'm afraid I can't claim that as my strong suit. I prefer more stable methods, like placing bait in the water and waiting for the fish to come within reach. That's the kind of...
Calm and steady. Exactly the kind of person who would catch loads of...
And I can be their assistant.
With discretion, I'm sure.
I'd probably use some sort of mechanical animal. Papa once bought me some small clockwork squirrels, mice, and such. When placed in the forest, they can attract others of their kind. I remember that you liked those too, didn't you?
I did. And that would be a good way to go about it. If they're realistic enough, animals of the same kind will follow them all the way to the trap.
What about you, Monsieur Neuvillette?
I fear I do not have any related...
That makes sense. You usually solve problems directly, without the use of any such trick. But I do have one more question for you, Monsieur. If we were to create a trap now, how would you...
I would like for it to be effective, but bring no harm to the prey. A more gentle trap would be ideal.
Kind, as always. However, our intention doesn't necessarily change the containment device and the type of implement we need. If we wanted to kill the prey in one strike, we would need a powerful implement. However, that also goes for prey that must be captured and safely contained.
Wait, why is that?
Only a hunter who's a true expert at subduing their prey can snare it without harming it. The line that divides life and death is often exceedingly thin.
We hadn't thought of seeing ourselves as hunters. It kinda works, but maybe it's still not the...
If our means of capturing and dealing with our prey is to put them on trial, then the hunting metaphor is actually quite accurate. But we shall require much more courage than any hunter to judge a god, a being whose seat is an exalted throne.
Oh, so that's what's going on.
Oh shit.
Dang, you are fine.
Adventure time!
It's been a tough few days, hasn't it? Paimon thought they'd be at least a little frightened. Well, Fremine was, now that Paimon thinks about it, but everyone else just looked a little surprised. It's hard what to say. After all, you're the most reliable person in the... did you just pour some tea? Paimon didn't notice... Paimon's never seen that cup before.
Don't be frightened.
Who's that?
Ah, have you forgotten?
Wait, you are familiar.
The voice from the sky, I fear that description. You're feeling lost now, just as you were feeling previously. Consider me a passerby, just accepting a commission from my friend's disciple on a whim. The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future.
What? Then...
I believe you have witnessed a failed attempt with your own eyes. Can everything in Tevat so easily be... Ah, so you've caught up. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods. Could things be happening in hidden corners, where the god's gaze does not fall? Are the things that you shall see different from the fate that the gods...
What is she talking about?
I believe that you understand, right? Some things are insignificant, but others you must read. Fate Chi, by the way. Thank you for your hospitality. Well, that'll be all for today.
The voice. All right. Hey, it's you who's getting late.
Well, I see I've walked in on some lively banter.
Mona!
Fine, just fine. I went to take part in that Steambird panel. Not all Fontainians are pessimistic about this. One journalist mentioned that sitting around and waiting for the end to come would be wrong, and that they should make their own rescue preparations. I agreed, so we had a brief chat.
Did she have pink hair by any...
Why, yes, it was Charlotte. You remember her, right? That daredevil journal. I'm in full support of her view. Prophecies are very important, but how can people allow their lives to be commandeered by just...
That's right! Paimon's glad to hear something sensible.
Ah, yes. About what we had discussed before. I did try, but I'm afraid... Huh? Goodness gracious. Are you serious?
She said that even the god's gaze has blind spots. Pretty bold if you ask Paimon. Most people would believe the gods to be all-knowing, right?
The Hexen Circle members are certainly anything but ordinary. As for the mage named N, the old hag has mentioned her a few times. She said that N's sense of direction is incredible, and that she loves guiding those who are lost. But I've never met her, and if she were still alive, she'd be... Well, suffice it to say that the hag's at least a few hundred now, and N's been around for longer than that.
Whoa. The Hexen Circle sounds like a...
Their abilities alone are pretty terrifying. If she came to see you personally, then the problem you're facing must truly be of great importance.
Well, it's not like Paimon could understand anything she said.
Yes, she was quite cryptic, but I suspect she means that there is still a way to turn things around. She didn't say when or what that would be, though, so perhaps it is something that you cannot know right now.
I just generally, I kind of wish I dropped like yours.
Traveler, Paimon?
Oh, we're fine. We're just a little down.
I see. I feel that same... I guess you could consider me someone who has often witnessed fate. So far as I have seen, it cannot be... But even so, I still hope for, and believe in, miracles. Astrology is eternal and rational, but fate may not be. It is cruel. But perhaps that's what N was trying to tell you. Not to lose heart, and to believe that what you are seeing playing out before you is not yet set in... I did originally think of steering clear of all this, but I couldn't. Even if this is all futile, I still wish to help everyone. If we don't struggle to the last, then how can we face the end when it comes?
Huh. You do have a point.
There I go. It was worth trying to comfort you, even if only a little. I suppose that might be why we always seem to meet by coincidence.
Paimon feels kind of moved by what Mona said. But, hey, Traveler, Paimon suddenly feels like going outside for a walk. Let's walk around the city, shall we? There's a few spots we always like to walk by.
For me, I'm drawing ghosts. I'm drawing little ghosts. Yeah, no, there's like shadowing. I can't. Oh, it's easy. It's really easy to learn. The thing is, I just can't make it like real. I mean, the closest thing I got to
Off we go.
shadowing, like, was my no so.
Honestly, I'm telling you this right now. When you want to learn about fucking shadowing, just look at a fucking dead sheet, and that's all you gotta do. Just outline what you see in it.
Huh?
And then boom.
Our names are written in this newspaper. Let's go. Let Paimon see. The underwater stronghold, the Fortress of Meripede, has continued in its noble autonomy. But that does not mean that others cannot interact with it. My recent attempts to enter the fortress bore little fruit. Huh. Guess Charlotte still hasn't given up on them. Thus, did an Outlander friend become the focus of this report? A blind adventurer with their white fairy, legends trailing in their wake. It is said that this mysterious traveler once visited the underwater so while the fortress's interior remains a mystery behind closed doors, do not fear, for the tales of the traveler contain surprises in spades. Journalist Charlotte's biggest scoop yet, the Traveler's Trail, World Walker. Huh. Charlotte took so many awesome photos of us and we never even noticed. She hasn't been able to get a hold of anything at the fortress, so... seriously? We're here! Paimon's hungry.
That's good to hear. Some more feminine book on my character, I guess. But younger. I like it. I'm just like, this one was a lot easier considering all I had to do was just go down. Not like the one up top where I have to like...
Look!
Look at it.
That's the limited edition, only 16 slices a day cake!
Yeah, that was hard.
It was so delicious the last time we tried...
One slice of cake, please.
Someone showed up after all! Oh, wait, you're the one from the Palais Mermonia.
Oh, are you here to buy cake, too?
Wait, did he really say something like that?
That's right. Even he has his own preferences when it comes to food. As for me, I love the cake and coffee here.
Do you come here often?
Usually every day.
Every day?
It's part of my daily schedule, apart from work. I shall have my cake and coffee.
Then what if someone told you one day that this place would be closing soon, and you wouldn't get to eat cake here anymore?
But why would it close?
Well, Paimon doesn't know either, but maybe...
Oh, the prophecy. To be honest, I haven't. No. It's the same for eating in general. You might not be able to eat tomorrow, but if you can do so today, then you should carry on. That's what people call living, you know.
Huh.
Don't be sad. Excuse me, could I have 2 more slices of cake to go? These 2 slices are for you. Sijuin said that this kind of expression you're making is what humans call...
Oh, you know Siege?
I sure do. She was born before me, and she sometimes comes to the surface to teach us things. She said that humans are creatures that are saddened easily. Yes, and you can only lift their spirits by feeding them delicious food. So I've got something else to do, so I'll be going now. You two try to stay in a good mood after eating, all right? Bye.
Green eyes. Yeah. Looks significantly younger.
And there she goes. All right, let's dig in.
Oh shit, I sneezed into the mic. God damn it, that must be freaking hurting someone's
It's even
ears.
better with a sip of tea. It sure would be nice if we could come again tomorrow. Sure would be nice if we could always eat delicious.
Fang. I hate my nose right now. Because I'm live, I sneeze and I just realized, oh fuck, I sneezed into the mic. That must be real. That must have hurt someone's ears right now. No, I made sure the switch on my own freaking headset was on. I made sure that my own earphones are plugged in right. And I also made sure that I'm watching my own live as well. So if anyone comments or if my mic's not working, I'll know. I took extra precautions because it's happened before. I had freaking we had 7 wins in a row.
We're near the
and
Seabird
no
office.
commentary
Let's go
at
look
all.
for Charlotte and have a chat.
One time.
That's the thing about us streaming. For a very long time, you're not gonna get good traction.
Exactly.
Wow! If it isn't the Traveler and Paimon! Oh, have you seen the article I wrote about you?
Ha! You got something!
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I heard that you were in Poisson some time back, so I sent you a letter to discuss just that. It appeared... It's all right, though. I've set aside the amount intended for you. I've even set the table with some...
Really?
You're almost a little too easy to win over, Paimon. If I were a journalist with ulterior motives, you'd be in trouble now.
Oh, Paimon knows you're...
Still, what brings you here all of a sudden? Were you looking for me?
When Mona mentioned you, we thought of coming to see you at work.
I see. It seems you've already bumped into Mona here in Fun. So she mentioned me? What did she say?
She said that you're a real daredevil of a journalist.
Nice. In which case, can this daredevil journalist dare to request an exclusive interview with the
Huh? So your article in the paper today doesn't count?
Oh, of course it doesn't. That was more like live photography. What I'd like to do is dive deeper and ask you to talk about the things you've seen.
Yeah, are we even...
Why not? If I say you're worth an interview, then you're worth...
Oh, in that case, we'll just chat when you...
Oh, so that's a yes? Oh, splendid! I'll tell the editor-in-chief immediately. I'll have to apply for lighting, a venue, some props, and... Whew, so much to get done now.
Wait, Charlotte, Paimon's still got a question for you.
And what's that?
If, just for example, Fontaine were to be flooded tomorrow, what would you do today?
Huh. That's the prophecy you're talking about, isn't it? I mean, I do hear about it often, but I've never once thought that the day could be tomorrow. If you're seriously asking, then I might try and think of a way to leave Fontaine. Oh, but I'm still a journalist, first and foremost. That means I have a duty to be reporting from the scene. And secondly, I wouldn't forsake my homeland. From what I've seen, most people don't know what they'd do should the worst come to pass. In truth, it might be better just to behave like normal rather than worry over such an... So in all likelihood, I'd probably still be prepping at the office for that interview of ours. I know what you're thinking. That sounds a bit sad, but I've always believed that it's best to do what you enjoy. Just think about it. If this nation really were to be suddenly destroyed tomorrow, but I still successfully finish an exclusive interview with a truly unique person, then the story I would wind up writing would truly... And then do you know what I'd do? Well, I'd write that story, send it for printing, and use messenger pigeons to get copies out to the various nations as soon as possible. I'm not a dreamer, nor am I a workaholic, but I do love my job, and I'd be proud of leaving such an article behind. I guess you could say that I was born to be a but anyway, that's my answer. And on that note, I'll get back to my preparations.
That's so nice. All of us... Anyway, let's go and take a look at the sea, shall we?
Uh-oh. What's going on? Because we're teleporting.
The sea breeze in Sea scenery can be a pretty soothing combo, huh? Paimon's been thinking.
Hello, welcome. If you guys want...
If it wasn't Fontaine, but all of Teyvat that would be destroyed
the title
tomorrow,
may be Genshin Arcon
where would we go? And
but
no,
if you guys
Paimon should ask
to,
if you
can have a little Q&A with me. Get to know me. See if I'm worth subscribing to, liking, all that stuff that
we've always been moving to the next destination, so we haven't spent much time thinking about these kinds of things. We didn't have to either, with us always being on the road and whatnot.
If you guys want to start a Q&A here, go ahead. I'll answer to the best of my abilities.
You mean still traveling?
I just went to Greek time. Older, basically.
Huh.
And I'm just like...
Wait, isn't that what we've always been doing?
I'm sick right now.
I did this a week before the fucking article came out. Right? About this. Son. And homies looked at me like... How the fuck did you know that was a guy? Because
the reason why I really wanted to do this Archon quest and record it is not because I want to see it. Like, I want to be a part of that. I recorded the Archon quest. No, I just want the memory of how I played through the Archon quest.
But it's still better than the Fortress of Mirapede, that's for sure.
My decisions
Not only
of
damp there, but salty
everything.
too.
Just experience to have.
So the two of you are still here. Wonderful.
Oh, you're from the Palais Mermonia, aren't you?
In Genshin, you can't redo anything.
Yes, I'm Isadora.
Unless you
Monsieur Nervillat sent me to look for you two before. I heard that afterward you went to the Fortress of Mirapede.
You know,
not at all. I'm well aware that you're friends of his. Actually, I'm here to pass along a message from him.
Like, a while back, I think during the...
Yes, inside the Opera House. The Maréchaussée Phantom has declared the incident a small-scale riot.
A riot?
Well, that said, I don't personally think it was that serious. Lady Farina was watching a performance at the Opera House, and while she was resting during an intermission, some other audience members suddenly started harassing her, loudly accusing her of doing nothing about the prophecy crisis. And before she could respond, others started to join in.
I think a month later, actually.
The crowd continued to grow, and protests against the Hydro Archon started to break.
So people have started to put the blame...
I agree. People will naturally rely on God.
So what happened after that?
Seeing that the situation was spiraling out of control and that further argument was pointless, she claimed that she'd gotten tired of this and left in a hurry. The Maréchaussée Phantom had their hands full maintaining order and did not catch where Lady Farina had gone.
So, you mean she's still missing?
That's why
That's right. The Maréchaussée has dispatched many people to search for her, but we don't have any leads yet. That said, I don't think there's much to worry about. She is a god after all. Even if she were to fall into the hands of rioters, what could ordinary people do to her? Good. Monsieur Nervillat sent me to tell you about the situation, but he didn't say anything else.
Don't worry, this is more than enough to go on. Thanks for keeping us informed.
Is that so?
Like I said, if you guys want
sounds like we should hurry over to Poisson then.
Me some questions.
He could have been binary, but the thing is...
If you guys want to, you guys can ask me.
If we know Farina, she won't try to fix things in this situation. Instead, she'll look for a place to wait out the heat. And, as we also know, she may be loud and dramatic, but she doesn't have a heart of stone. When Nervillat was talking to her in the Palais Mermonia, and she heard about Poisson, she couldn't hide her sadness and it would be hard for her to ignore being accused by the public today. Paimon thinks Farina's probably taken the opportunity to slip away to Poisson and try to relieve the sense of guilt. Huh. Well, what do you think? Paimon knows the answer, of course, but Paimon can do the analysis to back it up, too. Cool, huh? In that case, there's not a moment to lose.
We are not teleporting, okay. Let me just claim some achievements before we continue, because I'm still trying to... I wouldn't say I'm trying to get Farina. It's just that, for some reason, it's always those freaking urges to pull for random characters. Like, I didn't even think I'd get Risley, but on freaking
Benny's Adventure Team, assemble!
I did one pity after losing my own freaking 50-50 to a Jean. I pulled once, got a regular sword or something. The second time I pulled, though, oh god, I was like, what the hell just happened? Risley came home. Shit. Worsley? I don't know how to pronounce the name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. But, like, he came home, and I was dumbfounded. I was like, why the hell didn't this happen with Rex Lapis when I had 60-10 pulls. I had 60 pulls.
This place looks deserted.
Rex
Guess
Lapis,
all the survivors
but
must
I
have
lost it to
evacuated
Jean on my
already.
last one.
All that's left here are signs of devastation.
And then right after
Could Farina really be here? Let's try to find her as soon as possible.
After Fontaine came in, I'm sorry. I'm in the middle of this quest. I'm trying to do some stuff. But after Fontaine came in, I ran everywhere.
Follow the wind.
I looked for every hydroculus, any chest. I wouldn't pass up any chest or any little mission. I would do it and pull for Rex Lapis. And lo and behold,
Farina, right over there.
she came home at 30.
She really is here all on her own.
Yes, and I was counting. He came home at 30 pity.
Should I just give up? This is all meaningless. What was meant to happen did happen after all. Everyone's dead. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Give up, Farina. There's no point. I'm sorry, but what can I even do other than to repeat meaningless apologies over and over? Who's that?
Don't worry, Farina. It's just that. Farina, you were crying just now, weren't you? The tear stains on your face are obvious.
What do you mean, tear stains? Who did that They even dare to tout their arcon! Oh, and I'm sure Nouvellette and those people from the Marsh Chaussee Phantom are freaking out right next to them.
Hey, there she is! The Hydro Archon's over there! Quick, after her!
Farina, those people seem to be after you.
They are? They're just some... that's against the rule.
Farina just ran off! Quick, we have to catch up with...
You know, I feel like they got the freaking sound of metal when running from freaking Among Us, because that's really how it sounds when metal is freaking walking in Among Us. When you're walking in metal in Among Us, I mean. It really sounds like
This should be the place, right? Hey, Farina! There's a good hiding spot over here. Quick, come to...
What?
Hurry, they're almost...
Fine, I suppose, hey...
Now it's time to talk. Talk! Say what's on your mind. Loading, 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 load faster.
I merely gave in to the You're right.
Yep, that's a good girl.
What's happening? The ground's shaking.
Yeah, a quake of this kind preceded the flooding in Poisson, didn't it?
It can't be. It's happening.
Well, there's no need to worry too much about that. Neverlette's made some emergency plans, so the evacuation should go a lot smoother this time.
Yeah, I hope. But the people of Poisson. It's true. I've been investigating the prophecy for hundreds of years. I once had informants all over Tevat, searching for clues and feeding information back to me. I've tried all kinds of ways, too, to hold back the sea. Anything to keep the coastline from advancing. But all my efforts proved to be futile in the end. Really, the truth has been clear to me for a very long time. We cannot make an enemy of the divine. No matter what we do, the will of the heavenly principles will have its way, and the prophecy shall be fulfilled. Give up. I do love the sound of that phrase. It would mean finally coming to terms with fate, but also for me to finally be free. Indeed. I've thought about giving up so many times, especially after we almost lost Poisson. Fate is really unreasonable, isn't it? It has no heart and obeys no rules. The prophecy has only just started to come true, and so many people have... But just now, it all became clear to me. I still don't have the right to come to terms with fate on behalf of everyone else. As long as the final moment hasn't come, it's still not too late. Don't worry. I will keep hope alive for everyone until the Well, that's enough for now. I got the impulse to play the stricken maiden, but honestly, considering my rank and station, that wasn't a good fit at all. Don't take any of what I just said seriously. How could I possibly let Fontaine fall to the whims of...
Come on! Paimon could have sworn you were actually...
Share that's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be my... A witness. Yes. I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a spectator, aren't you? If that's the case...
Come on. Come on. Lynette! Bad timing! Oh god, now we look like the bad guys in Serena's eyes. This was all a trick to get me here, wasn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes my opening performance. Now, without further ado, we may proceed to the trial of our god.
So this is what it is. Yes, You deserve praise for the effort you took. Do not forget, however, that I am Focalor.
May I interpret these words as your refusal to stand trial? In that case, you will have the opportunity to defend your honor through a duel.
You would draw your blade against a god? I see. It seems like you have made...
Paimon can't believe it.
What the heck is going on? Did I just see an...
Wow, how utterly...
Lady Farina, what is the...
It would seem that there has been a misunderstanding.
Looking for excuses
again.
I raised my hands just now to indicate. I will admit, I'm sorry, everyone. I was unable to protect the people of Poisson. It is my duty to stand trial. You are not the only ones to be disappointed in me. I, too, am exceedingly... But now, it is time for the Hydro... I, Farina, will use this trial to show the world the true meaning of This time, I will protect... Applaud and rejoice. One of the... Mark my words. This shall be one of the most exhilarating and brilliant shows ever to grace the stage of Fontaine. The trial of the Hydro Archon, Focalor, will now begin!
Woohoo! Oh, now we're making history!
Why does it feel like Farina just took over the whole thing? Like, come on! Also, even though she's still acting super dramatic, she is taking this seriously this time, right?
All right, then. Who will be my opponent in this trial?
The court asks the prosecutor to please take the stand.
Is that so? Very... Also, please allow me to ask, as a final question before the trial begins. Just how much work did you do to force me onto this stage?
Well, we did do a lot of prep after the meeting that day.
I can go over the tasks assigned to the Spina di Rosula, since they were rather straightforward and easy.
Navia, the president of the Spina di Rosula.
Most of the people who participated in the disturbance this morning were my subordinates. They changed into plain clothes and came to the Opera House as regular audience members, waiting for the perfect opportunity to incite insurrection against you. The people's resentment against their Archon has been building as more and more of the prophecy is fulfilled. A spark was all we needed to turn smoldering anger. Moreover, according to our understanding and analysis of you, when something like that occurred, you would likely flee the scene and head to Poisson. So, we arranged for a second group to lie in wait there.
So, you mean... the ones who scoured the settlement for me were also from the Spina?
And their goal was to force you to step into the giant magic box so you may personally participate in the greatest magic performance.
That's right. That house was a magic box, rather than someone's residence.
As the super ultimate version of the setup that I used when I first performed at the Opera Epiclese, the volume of the box was increased by a whole order of magnitude, and the distance it traversed was the entire gap between Poisson and Aranias. Its cargo, of course, was an Archon instead of a human. My thanks, Farina. Without your help, we could never have pulled off such an extraordinary... Of course, this performance was only made possible with Father's support. The House of the Hearth spent a massive amount of labor in Mora to pull this off. We had to select a location, construct the giant magic box, dig a tunnel, and open up a path through the water. It was a lot of work for all of us.
So, in other words, the earthquake that we felt within the giant magic box was just a normal tremor from the transportation of the whole house?
That's right. It wasn't a sign of another disaster to come.
Then, I can guess Nervilette and Cloran's parts. You gathered a crowd, prepared a stage, and made sure that the champion duelist would be immediately ready for a fight. Also that as soon as I appeared on the stage, the trial may commence without a hitch.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, Clorand, I must commend you for your courage. Only the most outstanding champion duelist in all of Fontaine would accept a duel.
Thank you.
As for you, Traveler, I suppose your role was to keep me distracted with conversation when you'd make sure that I didn't notice anything amiss before revealing yourself as my prosecutor once we'd arrived onto the stage.
Oh?
It's fine. It matters not. The stage is already set, so there's no reason to disappoint the audience. Let's see this trial.
Sir Prosecutor, please allow me to pass This is a document that Miss Charlotte applied for and received permission to share with you during the trial. According to her, it should speed up the
Huh? Charlotte wanted to give us something? Oh, so she's here too! Oh, Leb Hymancy! Isn't this the exclusive interview that she did with us before? So she's already... Wait, then that means this document is a perfect timeline of everything that's happened ever since we stepped foot in Fontaine! So in other words, we can refer to this anthology of evidence every time we want to use something from our journey as evidence for an argument! Let's quickly confirm the information in it. Just think of it as a refresher, alright?
You defeated the Hydro Archon in the very first duel you took part in at the Opera House. That's one for the history books, all right. I didn't think that you'd wind up getting to the bottom of the case I'd been following all this time. I guess you could also see this as a happy coincidence. This is the first time Monsieur Nervilette had a difference of opinion with the oratories. Even the Hydro Archon can't figure it out. A Fatui Harbinger. She's an extraordinary person. Her instinct must mean something. The fortress of Meripede was almost destroyed in a single day. That I didn't witness that scene personally will always be a source of professional regret, I think. According to Monsieur Nervilette, both Child and that whale should have been in the primordial sea at that time. I nearly lost my awesome friend Navia. To be honest, that still gives me shivers. The words of someone as extraordinary as a witch can probably only be truly understood when something surreal happens to you.
The prosecution and the defense are both in position. The trial shall now begin.
Oh, come on, Nervilette. Just fast forward to the part where the prosecution lays out my offenses. As the defendant and the lead actress of this performance, I still haven't even been informed of my supposed guilt. Of course, it is only natural for humans to struggle.
That's true. But my charge here is unrelated to your conduct as... Instead, I would like to charge you as a fraud who's never been the Archon in the first...
Wait, what was that? Lady Farina's a fraud?
Hey, I came here thinking that we were going to try the Hydro Archon for forsaking her duty, but... Did I hear that right?
Charge accepted. Lady Farina, do you plead guilty? Lady Farina.
I plead not guilty. How can I? There is no way that I, Focalor, otherwise known as Farina de Fontaine, a member of the Seven and the Regina of all waters, kindreds, peoples, and laws of Fontaine, could be anything other than your
Yeah. Even though Lady Farina can be rather eccentric, isn't it going too far to doubt her?
Yeah, I've never questioned her identity either. Sure,
I have cause to believe that common sense will prevail in this case. Many of the members of the audience have known me as the Hydro Archon ever since they were born. See? Even the Oratrice has decided to show me its favor. Are you sure you want to commit to a charge if you wish to drop...
An argument with near impossible odds, huh? We have to not only...
Well, I tried to give you the chance to... And if I was not the Archon, then how did I manage to live for over 500 years?
She's a dragon.
First of all, you may be a member of another long-lived race, which would allow you to naturally possess an extended lifespan. And second of all, even if that wasn't the case, there could be other ways to extend your life.
Who gave you that idea? Was it the knave? You'd sink so low as to use a harbinger's words against me.
A curse? I once thought it possible that the aura of an Archon might naturally resemble a type of... But in light of this claim, perhaps what I sensed was not your divinity, but a curse.
You sensed it too, huh, Nervlet?
Lady Farina.
Well, it is true that it's extremely difficult to tell humans and gods apart just by looking at them. It's not impossible.
Uh-oh.
Well, don't start celebrating too early now. Even if I have been carrying a curse like you said, how does that prove that I am... Besides, everyone knows that the main difference between a human and a god is the possession of authority. Gods can do what humans cannot. That's why they're worshipped as gods. For centuries, manifestations of my authority have served. One need only to turn their eyes towards the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal in this very opera house, or consider the endemnitium that is used in every aspect.
You tried to reference the Oratrice, but weren't you as confused as all the rest of us when the Oratrice declared Child to be guilty without any proof? Otherwise, you should have come up with a good explanation for that by now.
Didn't I make myself clear at the time? The decisions of the gods are naturally difficult for humans to comprehend. There is no...
Lady Farina, I believe a reminder of your current circumstance. While the court is in session, the principles of justice and the law must come before all else. While you are an Archon, you are also first and foremost the defendant. You will prove yourself unable to defend against the prosecution's charges if you continue to withhold vital information against the rules of the court.
I never thought you'd use that kind of rhetoric against me.
That was no trick of rhetoric, Lady Farina. I've merely reiterated the rules of the court. Rules that all should respect.
So, you neither knew why Child was declared guilty, nor did you understand the structure and operations of the Oratrice. Instead of having been created by you, The manifestations of authority you mentioned have been made by the real Hydro Archon, haven't they?
The real Hydro Archon. Well, now you're really... It is true that I did not know why the Oratrice gave out a guilty verdict but the Oratrice handed out that verdict unilaterally. And it has been operating independently ever since it was first created. You can't argue that just because a divine creation is flawed, that the god behind it must also be no god at all.
She's still throwing out all kinds of excuses. Seems like she's confident that we won't be able to produce
my power as an Archon. There are many ordinary citizens in the audience. How can I just carelessly demonstrate the formidable...
If that poses a concern, I'm prepared to extend my protection to the audience.
You don't need to go that far.
Aren't you the Hydro Archon? Or is it that you can't even wield the power of Hydro, much...
Indemnitium! Yes! It's all because of Indemnitium! All Archons. Thus did I give up all of my divine power to provide everyone with energy for their...
Isn't that?
Yeah, no matter how generous an Archon can be, how could they give up all their power? Can a god with no power even still be called...
It seems like nobody's buying Farina's excuse.
Hey, come now, everyone. I'm still the same, please.
If what the prosecutor said is true, she really has come.
Did she deceive all of us? And all of our parents and grandparents too? And all of our ancestors?
Enough! That's enough. Tell me then, if you have no evidence of another Hydro Archon's existence.
Wow, she came up with... that doesn't sound... that doesn't sound right. It has been established that all Fontanians can dissolve in water from the primordial...
Since you insist on claiming to be a god and not a human, then there's a method that you can use right here and now to eliminate all suspicion.
Miss Navia, please apply to serve as a temporary attorney for the prosecution.
Super sorry, Monsieur Chief Justice. I swear this really will be the last time that I'll speak now. I've brought some seawater from Poisson. As everyone knows, a massive flood struck the air, including those of some of my... So, Miss Farina, would you dare to touch some of this seawater? If we are to believe that you are indeed the real Hydro Archon, touching this seawater would have no effect on you. All it should do is strengthen your case. But, if you don't dare to touch it, then we would have basically proved the reverse. Oh, and I must remind you that after the disaster at Poisson, nobody wants to see any more people dissolve. I do hope you'll act prudently and choose the simpler path of admitting guilt.
Navia from the Spina di Rasula. The Spina has governed Poisson for many years. I guess her suggestion...
If Lady Farina's in...
Lady Farina, this test has been
Well, of course he had to tell her that. But refusing to participate is basically the same as...
She's just staring at the water.
What's going on?
Due to the inherent risk of...
Hey! I'm fine!
Sigewin? If you are present, Miss Sigewin, please come forward and attend.
Sigewin? Don't be nervous. It'll just take... That should be it.
Please announce the results of your evaluation to the court, Miss Sigewin.
As everyone doubtlessly saw, Miss Farina was displaying... She was experiencing the adverse effects of exposure to primordial seawater. The extent to which she was affected is the same as other humans when exposed to primordial seawater of a similar concentration.
Thank you, Miss Sigewin. Lady Farina.
Oh, wait. What did she just say? I didn't get dissolved. Shouldn't that be enough to...
Well, considering your tendency to run from your problems, we did originally prepare a direct sample of the seawater around Poisson. However, after extensive discussion, we exchanged it for a sample that is not concentrated enough to dissolve an actual human. After all, on the off chance that something entirely unexpected might occur, we don't want anyone else to lose their life.
Yeah, so out of regard for Farina's life, you secured a low-concentration sample and asked the head nurse to serve as an expert witness. It's a great thing that the direct sample wasn't actually used. Farina could have...
I can't believe... You... Listen to me, everyone. Please, think about it. How also... Please, everyone, anyone, just listen to me. I swear, I really am your art...
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway...
With all the things that have been said, Paimon doesn't think there's...
I believe the time for arguments and presentation of evidence has come to an end. If there are no objections, we will move on to the final judgment.
I don't think anything she says at this point will sway me. She's too stacked against her now.
In my capacity as Chief Justice, I shall now render judgment on Farina's misrepresentation of herself as the Archon of Fontaine. As a human who knowingly deceived her fellow citizens, Farina is... guilty. We shall now turn to the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale to render the final verdict on the charges. According to the judgment of the Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinale, Farina is...
Well, what's wrong? What's the Oratrice's verdict?
No, the Oratrice also displays a guilty verdict.
Isn't that correct, then?
However, the exact wording of the verdict is thus. The Hydro Archon, guilty to be punished via the death sentence.
That's actually one of the available sentences? I've always thought that it was just a...
The one and only time the death sentence has been handed out at the court. And it's been given to the very person we've worshipped as the god of justice?
Farina's been sentenced to death by the Oratrice? We just want...
This outcome is indeed quite strange. According to Fontaine's current definitions of justice, as well as its recommendations for criminals, is this sentence really appropriate for the crimes that have been...
Yeah! Even Vacher wasn't sentenced to death by the Oratrice. You know, the real evil mastermind behind the serial disappearances case.
Indeed. Not only is Farina's sentence overly excessive, The very point of our trial today was also to prove that Farina has never been the Hydro Archon in the first place. But now, the Oratrice seems to have deliberately invoked the title of the Hydro Archon.
I have no idea what's going on.
Excuse me, if I may interrupt. Is the trial still going?
Fremine! Oh, you finally made it.
Mm-hmm. Any mission Father assigns to me will always be top priority.
Is that the first prophecy slate? Huh. So the knave privately arranged for Fremine to try and find the missing slip?
I looked everywhere and finally found it at the bottom of the sea. It took me a long time to get around some dangerous stretches of water. But has the trial already concluded?
Thank you for your hard work, Mr. Fremine. Please allow me to review... Traveler, I believe that you have already seen the other existing slates. I would like you to come here and confirm their contents.
Huh? So what do you see? What is it?
I believe I have now made sense of the Hydro Archon's crime. It has to do with Fontaine's law.
Huh? Isn't the Hydro Archon just guilty of deceiving her people? Oh, wait, no, that's Farina, and we've already proven that she's not. So when you say Hydro Archon, do you mean the real Hydro Archon we've been kinda talking?
In truth, everything that you've encountered in Fontaine up until this point can be traced back to the contents of these stones. However, I'm uncertain as to how much sense they currently make to you.
Okay, let's try to recall the contents of the other three... The first stone slate describes what you just said. It seems to show the previous Hydro Arc. Does that mean that Fontanians are transformed Oceanids? Oh, Paimon wasn't expecting that. But if Oceanids can turn into humans, then perhaps this process can be reversed as well. The second stone slate shows Celestia floating in the sky, and the Hydro Archon and her people worshipping it together. But the heavens still brought judgment down upon them. This must be the point when the Hydro Archon and the Fontanians were branded with their original sin. Does this mean that the original sin and the Hydro Archon sin are the same thing? The third slate shows the Hydro Archon sinking into the sea surrounded by many people. That reminds Paimon, didn't we also watch that happen to someone else? Well, the fourth slate is the prophecy the Fontanians have been talking about. We didn't believe that such a crazy disaster could happen.
We know from the case of the serial disappearances of young women that Fontanians can be dissolved in primordial, and the first stone slate tells us that long ago, the Hydro Archon used her power to turn Oceanids into humans. This might be the reason that Fontanians can dissolve.
That doesn't sound...
Perhaps what is about to take place, the truth and the...
Shit.
That doesn't sound...
It's not as simple as falling into the sea. When Navia fell into the sea, her consciousness was subjected to judgment.
I know this one. Nope.
That doesn't sound...
The prophecy from the stone slates found its way into society, but not many people believed it at first. If we hadn't dealt with it in time...
They'll dissolve into the primordial sea, but won't cease to exist. Their essence will flow in the seawater, converge, and take the form of an ocean. The Hydro Archon was sentenced to death in court, shocking everyone present. Perhaps this means that her sin was actually Fontaine's original sin. Navia fell into the water inside those ruins, and she nearly dissolved. She was surrounded by the people of Poisson in a court within her consciousness, and was forced to take part in a trial meant to make her stay. The eruption of the primordial sea at the fortress of Merope was the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to pass no matter what. The prophecy's contents can all be verified by recent events. If... now, so that's how you can make sense of it. But then it feels like we're going to have to share some
Let's hear them.
Incredible. Linny, did you hear
We're not real humans.
All Fontanians were originally created by the late previous Hydro Archon, with Oceanids as their basis. The evidence for that can be found in how only Fontanians could dissolve in primordial seawater, and how all the girls Vacher dissolved were also turned into Oceanids. Oh, and according to Navia, when she was about to get dissolved, she also saw everyone gathered around for a trial, all of them in the shape of Oceanids.
Indeed.
Yeah, and it follows from the content of the first slate that she probably angered Celestia by creating humans without prior permission. That could also explain why the Oratrice judged the Hydro Archon to be guilty. It's to account for that ancient sin.
The Hydro Archon's true sin was creating us?
And yet, after many hundreds of years, the Hydro Archon's creations have turned around to try to judge the Archon within the Opera Epiclese.
Yeah, isn't the image here just like when Navia fell into the sea? So wouldn't it be trying to show the image of the Hydro Archon also falling into the sea once the prophecy has been fulfilled in the fourth slate? In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain weeping on her throne. Did Paimon get all that right?
You've made some keen deductions. I must say, given how much you still don't know, it is impressive that you've already managed to connect so many. However, while you were able to decode all the information on the slates, they've also been etched with an additional layer of hidden information using a different... When we were at the ruins, I tried to decipher the hidden information recorded in the slates. Now that the slate collection is complete, I shall make another attempt to decipher the narrative. I believe I should share this truth not only with you, but with all the people of Fontaine. Your hypotheses regarding the origin of Fontanians and the sin of the Hydro Archon were both correct. In the Fontaine of old, the previous Hydro Archon sensed the yearning of her Oceanid familiars for life on land. The Oceanids were enamored with the beauty and romanticism of human beings, and wishing to have those experiences for themselves, expressed to the Hydro Archon their desire to become of a similar kind. However, even though water as an element is intricately linked with the power of life, the Hydro Archon, as one of the seven, did not possess the authority, not one to give in. She eventually found a way to create permanent humanoid bodies for her familiars by appropriating the power of this planet's primordial sea. She poured primordial seawater into the Oceanid's blood vessels, creating humanoid mimics in the process. But if Fontanians were to ever come into direct contact with water from the primordial sea, the power within their bodies would escape these artificial restraints and return to the sea. As a result, their forms would collapse, and they would be reverted to their original forms as Oceanids. Of course, the Hydro Archon never received permission from the heavenly principles to create a new human race. And thus, the Hydro Archon and all of her creations came to shoulder the original sin of appropriating the power of the primordial sea. That is the true history of how the people of Fontaine first...
So we were all Oceanids before we turned into human beings?
That's way too much information for me. I think I'm just going to pretend that I never heard a... Wait, but if that's the truth, we can't let the Hydro Archon be sentenced to death. After all, her only sin was creating up.
This really might be too much information for your race.
Alas, your hypothesis regarding the third and fourth stone slates was inaccurate. The slates' respective positions are, in fact. A key point of the visual on the third slate is how all the individuals depicted in the water are humans rather than Oceanids. They have not been dissolved, which implies that the water depicted in this slate is not water from the primordial sea. The nation of Fontaine is the nation of Hydro, as well as the nation of trials and justice. Instead of being the literal element, the water in the scene symbolizes judgment and justice. You may also recall Navia's experience. When she fell into the sea, her consciousness was surrounded by that of many others who intended to hold a trial to determine her fate. Therefore, the meaning of the third slate is that the people of Fontaine shall try the Hydro Archon at the court of justice. Yes, it refers to our present situation.
I think I'm following now. So, what you're saying is, even though we decided to put on this trial to avoid fulfilling the prophecy, in truth, everything we've done has happened exactly as the prophecy foretold. So now, it seems, we're the ones making...
What should we do?
Huh. No matter what, the prophecy will be fulfilled.
If that's the case, does that mean the scene in the fourth slate will also be fulfilled?
Traveler, I would like to point out another small fallacy in your deductions about the fourth slate. You probably thought that the eruption of primordial seawater beneath the fortress of Meripede served as the surest sign that the prophecy was about to come to... However, I believe that rather than being a sure sign, that eruption could in fact only be a small warning of something far worse. As for the root cause of the catastrophe, I believe you've already encountered it once before. This eruption was just a small warning of the things to come. We must...
It was both dream and...
If we're talking about a true culprit, that could only be that thing inside the primordial sea, right?
the truth, the original sin, the trial, and the root cause of the disaster.
That was way too close! How did that thing just burst into the Opera House? Wait, was that the huge whale you saw in your dream?
So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance here. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's primordial sea, using it to grow. That is the main cause for the rising sea. And once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the sea, its next step...
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids, she filled their blood...
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh impossible to resist. Therefore, when it left the primordial sea, it decided to make its next stop a packed opera house full of food. Food in the form of Fontanians.
We just barely managed to push it back, right?
That is correct. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for quite a long time.
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special connection with that whale, but we definitely didn't expect it to help us out. Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy, all we need to do to stop the prophecy would be to find a way to be...
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the primordial sea's energy before we could notice it. At this point, it has become practically integrated with the sea itself. Even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed, it could still survive and swim off towards...
That's not something We've already done We've come so far. You can't just tell me that the...
Indeed. That's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end. No matter what.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things... Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future.
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing.
You are not Farina.
Ah, the sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Focalor?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too, if I was to stand any chance of deceiving the heavenly principle.
Deceiving the heavenly...
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. Fontaine condemned to be flood. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused when that problem was thrust upon me by my dearest predecessor. That's the former Hydro Archon Egeria for the uninitiated. It hardly gets more disastrous than a preordained national catastrophe. She knew full well that the prophecy would sure... And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible... I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost growing barnacles by the time I finally realized there was only one possible solution to this. I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least, while saving everyone at... I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that's why Egeria chose me, although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. Between the task of saving the nation, the quotidian duties of the Hydro Archon, and not to mention the original sin of creating a new race of humans, I dare say she left me quite a colossal mess to But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one of her Oceanid familiar.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids, transformed into a human by Egypt?
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her first day as a human being. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. The plan to deceive that... Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? The Hydra Archon, alone, weep in order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled. I invited Farina to be an actress, to play the part of the Hydro Archon in the prophecy. Under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house, to embrace the role of leading lady, to forever play the part of the god from the prophecy, all to create a deceitful appearance of that prophecy. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called the Opera Epiclese.
But Farina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no stronger than that of any other. I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, me in human form, I most definitely owe her an apology for it. It's been 500, and all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
Time to go. Into the wind.
Oh? Who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance. Oh, I am Focalor, the eyes of Count... Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon enough.
Gather!
Shine down!
Wind Strider!
Solidify!
Everybody stand back! There is no escape!
Off we go! Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards! Farina. Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you? Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you. Wait a moment. You're... mirror me? Mirror you, huh? You know what? Mirror me. The prophecy. Have you heard of it? What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think. I don't know why, but it's... The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine...
Oh, very good.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember anything clearly. The only thing I know for sure is this prophecy.
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine sooner or later. Things will develop just as the prophecy declared. There is no escaping it.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontainian just like them. Well...
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. It is the reason why you met me I will tell you how to save everyone, but...
Oh, so there's still hope after all. Goodness, you frightened me. You spoke so much and with so much certainty. As for the suffering, well, I will admit that the first thing that came to mind was, why do I have to be the one to suffer? But if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? So if I've already met you as my magical meeting in this world, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side, and my pain on the other, is it not obvious where this...
I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its Hydro Archon. I need you to play a role. That of the new Archon.
Play as... a god?
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let anyone suspect your identity. If you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed...
But how will I do this? A human assuming the role of a god without...
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. You simply need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know what such an entity would be like. Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity, but contending against humanity.
I'm still not sure So, how long am I going
to accomplish this mission? You will have to stay on the stage for many, many years. You will endure and not grow old until you... But I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
A trial? Huh. The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession, but this is my first time facing the people. What should I say to most appear like a god? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor as the god Focalor, the god of justice. I shall do all within my power. Once again, thank you all for coming. This should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully...
That's the new Hydro Arcon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest.
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might...
Wait, what's going on? Right. Mirmi said that I just need to play the role of a calm-down Farina. Think assertive, with a strong sense of presence. Oh, very good, my people. Only ones such as you are deserving of my rule. Now, I was wondering, if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the children of Fontaine follow? Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous trials alongside my august self. Here in this opera house, you may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Her personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my accession speech. My dear people, whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin. The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its god. On one side, it must carry fairness and justice. And on the other, praise and applause. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink. There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is needed is for you, my people, to believe. So long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the Opera Epiclese, so long as I stand before the oratrice, I shall even judge the gods of this world!
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House in person? Leave these kinds of things to Neuvillette. Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm looking forward to the most.
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things.
That's true. I fear I lack the ability to grasp you.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duties. The trial I await.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of perseverance instead. Long have you stood in line to meet me, have you not? Oh, I'm afraid that's just an inevitable consequence of my divine... All right. Deuteria, is it? How is your son's...
You remembered me, and you knew of my family, too. He is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent believer than I. He was the one who forced me to seek an audience with you, and to bring your words back to him.
Oh, good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not hesitate to come and tell me. Going down to citizens' homes every so often, while not usual practice, should serve as a fine change of pace.
Ah, you're such a gentle and wise god.
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of,
I see. It's as I thought, then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow you to analyze. All manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass. Forget it. That's not something you need to worry about, right?
Well...
Really?
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effective solution.
Is that... The day is finally over. I haven't had... But it's good to see that everything's getting on track. Maybe this is fine.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the latest cases, as well as a summary of the follow-up.
There'll be no need for that. I've seen them already. There's no need to go back over scenes I've witnessed in person before.
Lady Farina, I've waited...
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen. This joy...
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed should anything... I don't think I let anything slip. I feel utterly exhausted.
Lady Farina, it's like a dream being able to speak with you up close like this. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you was Madame Deuteria, almost 20...
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy to meet such a faithful believer. A descendant of a lot...
Surely you exaggerate, Lady...
What?
Are you crying?
This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the waters. Can't...
No wonder. No wonder.
hundreds of years. I never have I want to tell. I have conducted. All I can do is keep heart.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping.
Share that's impossible. It was fated right from the start that this would be.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to just share it with me. I'm
a witness. And if to that... He's right. I could but if things don't play out as expected... No, Farina. You should... But what if... Farina, you've worked... Is it such an outrageous thing? If you let this up, think about it. Long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. I am for all you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness.
Fine.
I am sick. I am doing this because I want to experience and remember this experience for years to come.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly principles, you must first deceive yourself. She did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5 centuries, Fontaine would have been... It seems that trusting humanity was the
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half the truth. How would you build on this foundation to save the people of
good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux of the issue. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the court. It now seems that that person was you, hidden within the machine all along.
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would... Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient... In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice. Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice, it will also take down the divine throne upon which she has been placed. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Farina's... My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate indemnitium within the Oratrice. But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the energy generated by the device was ever used to provide power to Fontaine. The vast majority had to be accumulated to enact this death sentence.
It was all a part of your plan, then? Both the trial...
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, but only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia, and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Arc. The destruction of that divine throne If I do not misunderstand your intent, you must be...
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the Hydro Dragon of this planet. Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign. And this is the fate—
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception— Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of essentially the same crime? Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principle stole the power you ancient dragons possess. I, for my part, am the god of justice. And is it not just that your original powers should be returned? Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine's original, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontanians as humans and their right to exist in this world. In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, justice is the continuation of that existence, defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on. That should be the justice enthroned over all others. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontanians, have shouldered the burden of this sin for far too long. Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land, when you regain your full power as an elemental sovereign, what verdict shall you pass?
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Iudex, I see now that that was your idea. At last, I now understand the true purpose behind. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they feel. You are a devious one for things being as they are. Surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Neuvillette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Come on, please. Please. Traveler, don't tell me you sat in that chair. Traveler.
Judex Nuvelet, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
Don't tell me that primordial sea water. There we go. The glowing hair. Signs of the archon. Every archon has a version of glowing hair. Rex Lapis, his own tip with the ponytail. Every archon has the freaking neon fucking tipped hair, I would say, of their certain element.
What just happened?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection?
But since we're all still alive...
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
But didn't you say just...
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the Primordial Sea from that creature. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our traveler. Now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out justice. The root of the calamities befalling Fontaine. The beast, come with me, traveler. The hour of execution has come.
It's time to get serious if we're fighting that bitch of a whale. It is fucking 1 o'clock in the morning here. I am ready to fight. I am ready. I'm gonna check if my friends are still on the call because I want to do this properly. It is raining. My nose is stuffy. I feel like I'm gonna have a fever tomorrow.
I've already done my best to separate the power of the sea from the whale. Considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless we can find a way to attack it from within. She'll share a part of the ancient dragon's power. They'll look for an opening together. Turning into hostility.
Order guide you.
Let's light it up! There is no escape!
The all-devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Chance will present itself.
I can lower it. What the hell?
Off we go!
Come on.
Why do they never miss? Shine down!
What? Oh god, what the fuck is this? I don't know.
Shattered!
Rise!
Going in!
Let's
One with wind and...
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment. Use my power to suppress its roots from within.
What the fuck am I dealing with here?
Wind strike!
There is no...
What is all this drama?
Crumble! Gather!
Illusion shattered!
Adventures! Huh? Let's light it up!
There is no escape!
Huh?
Solidify!
Let's light it up!
Shine down!
Off we go!
Manifest the authority of the ancient dragons. Witness the might of the primordial sea. Stabilize!
Are you fucking kidding me? God damn, I didn't know that was coming.
Adventure time! Adventure time! Off we go! Teamwork is dreamwork!
Clouds high. The birds call.
Torn to oblivion!
This is order. Gather.
Wind strike! Illusion shattered!
Take cover!
The wind knows me.
There is no escape!
Ow! Adventure time! Ow! Off we go!
One with nature.
Solidify!
Let's light it up! Everybody stand back!
Fallen leaves, adorn my night!
Shine!
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but... oh well. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't... well, actually, I had a feeling that it...
That power. Who are you exactly?
I'm a that she was the less talkative person.
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other, so you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise an all-devouring narwhal. That kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it is its looks. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk? I think you might have missed
The point being...
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed... So what sort of person is your master? Well, child's master's master. Wait.
Oh, right. So you don't know him. His name is Sertologi.
Huh?
I am unfamiliar with...
Huh. So Master is insufficiently famous. How should I describe him, then? Have you heard of the name The Fowl?
The Fowl?
Still nothing? Well, how about The Visionary? Vetterfulnir, then? Or Gold Rhindaughter?
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rhindaughter's part of the Hexen Circle. She's Albedo's mom, right?
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. I don't actually know, but I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Rhindaughter. They are both pursuing some form of perfection.
Wait! Didn't you also mention a visionary person? Hyman didn't quite catch...
Actually, never mind that. I believe it expedient to inform that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos. In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has already managed to deceive the heavenly principles.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne.
Okay. I see now. Okay.
Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
Ha, I get it now. I see what's happening here. Give me a second. So, the sins of the people. Now they're fully fledged humans, so they can't dissolve in the water. That was what all of this was for. And also, Jubilette was able to remove the primordial seawater, just like she was able to remove the primordial seawater from where? The whale. Just like that, she also removed the primordial seawater from where? All of the ocean. That was That's why none of them are dying. None of them are getting turned back into ocean. Because they needed from that area. And how the fuck is that thing
All hands
flying?
initiate emergency rescue!
God damn.
Hurry! Hey, lend a hand!
See, even Fremenate before, when Fremenate entered the primordial seawater, what happened to Fremenate? He ended up getting nauseated. He couldn't do anything then. But now they can all swim.
Look! The water's receding!
So that's actually what happens after a tsunami. They recede. They just take turns. But this tsunami was supposed to kill all the people, but
It's a miracle! We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong! The prophecy was wrong!
I think it's because coming into the bubbles.
Are you alright?
We're saved. The prophecy was wrong.
And you were able to live as a human and not be punished by the heavenly principle. Thank you. I may have hated Farina in the first opening of Fontaine, but I have a new respect. I have a new respect for Farina, knowing what she's done all these years.
The soil renewed! The Spina di Rosula talks post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Poisson to meet with Miss Navia, spokesperson of the Spina di Rosula, and we spoke about Poisson's present and future. Old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Hope is like seeing a small cookie when you're starving late at night. You just need a little of it. Skyship Winglet, lunar brain of the Fontaine Research Institute. The various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have suddenly become a shield over the Institute, with Jurier turning out to be a once overlooked hidden gem. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And should that latter person achieve a miracle, they would find it all the harder to find a word with which to classify him and his team. Wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Jurier and Navia? They sound like real big shots.
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was pretty simple. With the disaster just having passed, we would print a free edition packed to the margins with good news to calm people down. The value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups. We'll publish further reports and go into the stories behind those. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the reconstruction of their home. I'm sure that these stories could draw—
Hyman's curious too! Wait a minute. Didn't we watch everything happen from start to finish? What's there to be curious about?
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me. You're the best incubators of news, if you haven't noticed. And also, with you around, I'm sure I'll get to see that dude.
Are you sure? Hasn't he turned you down so—
Oh, this time will be different. Come on.
Ah, fucking nah. 30 primo points, that's great, but okay. Just claim that. Oh yeah, there's always a tier among the stars. I totally forgot, there's always that one item that never goes away because of what its meaning is. There we go, the 5-star items. When we battled Dvalin, I think this was when we battled the, what was his name? Ajdaha. This is the Battle of Signora. This is after we completed the Archon quest for Nahida after resolving all of the, I would say, curse. I don't know. We just got this after defeating the Narwhal. I wouldn't say defeating, because god damn, I didn't even put a scratch in that thing. This is from the, this is the realm, this is the thing for shit. What was it called? What was the name of that game? It's the card game, This was Child John's vision after the first Archon quest, first part of the Archon quest is finished. And a few of these other things are from certain quests and stuff. So see, we got this, the records for Lenny. This was after we finished Lenny's trial. This was... It was during after the... Not the... I think it was the Archon quest, but with the... I don't know how to pronounce it. Them. Okay, let's just finish what I started.
Inactivity serves no purpose whatsoever.
How the Archon quests have gone from being somewhat to over exaggerating. Oh, sorry. I'm thinking of something else. They've gone from being a regular, what do you call that? Cliffhangers to emotional and I'd say life-changing scenes. Platoon number, what is the platoon number doing here? Well, it's Arlecchino, it's okay. I'm pulling for Arlecchino.
Oh, it's you. What brings you all here?
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here.
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snežević. He represented the Knave in sending us a large amount of supplies. And our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing nicely. We've lost a lot of people, but...
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially like that article you wrote last year about Fontaine's stray cats. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing here. We just happen to share the same interests as the Spina.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or would you be willing to feature as friendly neighbors?
That would be fine.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour before the workers are able to go over there.
Huh? You're here?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat. All right. She really came here to help me out.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision-makers. And, well, I do already happen to be connected to Mr. Callis.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the duel, about what it was like facing down a god. There's lots of exciting material.
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme than that, Miss Charlotte.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor?
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, you might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the Traveler. It's better than wasting time persuading Chlorand.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let him off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up. And smile.
Was it a good...
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it
a day. You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news, and freshness is the key. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building connections. Who knows?
Wow, you really do have...
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of Maripede.
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess, too. I asked Sijuin, who told Monsieur Nervillette, and he told you, right?
That's a very complete information.
In truth, all Monsieur Nervillette asked me was, when did the Fortress become so friendly towards the media? I told him that it was best not to speak too soon. There's no guarantee that Ridsley will make a personal...
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case, I'll be making...
Stay safe now. And tell me if...
The Fortress of Maripede. All this music sounds like... I already know what the meaning of this is, but... in all honesty, Fontaine was the most... I wouldn't say willing to go up against the freaking Heavenly Principal, but most to act. While Venti, Rex, Lapis were willing to give up their gnosis. Or no, Venti's gnosis was stolen. Rex Lapis gave the gnosis in order to, how do you say, resolve a contract. He was doing that to stop a contract, I think, with the Heavenly Principal. So now he has freedom.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgia.
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you come all the...
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte, whom our good head nurse recommended to...
It's an honor to finally meet them.
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the focus of your interview.
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Hey, no need to be so nervous. I've already taken all the photos we need.
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that of Mr. Jurier.
Sir, please don't say things like that.
But it looks like dear Mr. Jurier denies it. Might this interview be very...
No, I just... This is my first time being interviewed, and I'm very thankful to the Steambird for...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. You've definitely got more of that genius vibe going on. The boat that brought about a miracle. The ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated a myth back there, like an MS... Still, if I might ask, where's that flying ship?
Huh! Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory. I'm afraid it won't be easy for you to get a shot of it.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have an interview with...
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo of this couple of researchers?
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos will do.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me have a look.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this?
Ah, Siegeween.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you... Sure.
Huh? Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the...
Same old, as you can see. Fontaine's undergone some changes, but this place is still...
Other than that flying ship, it got a tad too much attention, I think.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the behind-the-scenes heroes. Am I right, Mr. Jurier? Miss...
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have your day in the sun. Not that you would want that.
I'll just leave the spot. I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh?
He sure did win them over, huh?
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face extended sentences for abetting his escape.
Oh, actually, what about you? Are things gonna change?
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duties. As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the...
Hey everyone, the photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go.
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. All right. Last stop, the docks.
The beginning of where it all, I mean, the end of where it all started. It all ends at the beginning. And it ends with a jump off this roof. I'm failing already. Guys, let's jump off the roof. Let's go. Okay. Halfway down. I had to time that or I was gonna die.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together.
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte.
Would you like a magic pocket? What sort of gadget is it? It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if you see any of your things floating around, you can use this to carry them. Or you could trick a friend into doing it for you. Trick a friend? I wonder which of my friends would fall for that.
Charlotte,
you could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by, I'll help you make some...
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact?
You sure are working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself.
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins...
Lynette, could you come over? Miss Charlotte says...
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say to you. Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful for your contributions to...
That's all right. We were more than happy to help. So...
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. After Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Nervillet opened negotiations, during which he gave Fontaine's gnosis to her as a diplomatic gift.
Fucking God! Again! With the dragon thing!
Yes, I was quite surprised. It could have been done as an apology for... Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid to Fontaine.
That's true, but this is a gnosis we're talking about. Doesn't this seem a bit... irresponsible?
I would agree, but I've also heard that... It seems that Monsieur Nervillet has had a significant change of heart regarding the matter.
So there's some reason for this that only...
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself.
Isn't he but back to the...
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wounds. I hear that the recent disaster really did a number on his health.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of
My
run-ins
question
with
is,
the
how the
Fatui.
fuck is he not dead?
Allied with them this time.
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
The knave.
Father!
But in all honesty, yes, she
Well,
is
what do you know?
highly
Come to the docks to
called
see how my
tricky in
children
a
are doing
fancy
and
word.
meet the traveler.
Are you going to take the gnosis back to...
That is our duty as Harbinger. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the entire world. With such a grand goal in mind, it is inevitable that we must wear many masks. Switching my masks is something I've always done. Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. What good is honesty if you can't rely on it for... As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision? All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it safe for him this entire time.
And that's a wrap for me. Huh?
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians and our upcoming rookie talent.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk while the...
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews. Thank you all.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon, you take what...
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met, too. And what do you know? I'm doing the exact same thing right now. I guess this must be life. We will all follow our own paths, and serendipity will lead you to your fated friend. All right, then. We'll be handing out
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see how Neverlette's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have time to chat any...
How the fuck am I supposed to get there? Oh god, I'm tired, I'm sick, I'm in total confusion, and I am loving it. Do I just go in here or do I go around this shit? Oh god, I don't even know where to go. Yes,
No two cases are
Lady Verena hasn't changed one bit.
I know this thing may be taking long, you guys, but like I said, I am gonna see this thing through to the end. Yeah, I may have stopped due to some...
Dude, what did she do?
Why did they tell me to go in here then? God damn it, it just made me waste more time. But I had to do some stuff with my family members quickly, and then head in back and start the live again. That's why I paused it for a while. After this, I'm probably gonna off Genshin and knock the hell out after claiming my Primo Gems. It was telling me to go sideways and I wasn't letting me, damn it.
The entrance to the fortress! Ooh, he really is there!
Totally forgot this is the entrance to the fortress. I never came over here. Novelette, I'm gonna smack your head. You should have gave me the gnosis.
So, you really are here, Novelette! Paimon didn't think you were going to have free time this...
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. He took the time to greet me earlier when... In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering reaching out to you to set up a meeting, so I may explain some things that I haven't had...
Aw, Paimon's glad they... Alright, let's have it then.
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste in the mouth when it finally comes time to say them.
So that's what happened? Focalor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged elemental dragon sovereign. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the Fontanians.
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to absolute control over the hydro element. Fontanians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the primordial sea, with constitutions similar to that of mimics. But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was first brought into being on this planet. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontanians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved by water from the primordial sea.
Exactly.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone. Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro Archon's wish to turn Oceanids into real...
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he awakened the all-devouring narwhal. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. At most, he would have had tangential liability. As for the judgment passed by the Oratrice during the... whether it was due to that liability by association, or Focalor deliberately using him to buy time for us on the assumption that he would be able to hold the creature off.
Guess Focalor had Fontanians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally... hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got another... Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontanians would often come to the Fountain of Lucine to pray for children?
Yeah! Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form of ritual. Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, about that. Risley said Farina has already left. What's that all about?
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that title to me. Before I related Focalor's words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing them, she seemed neither saddened nor comforted. She simply said that she was tired. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the opera house. Not unlike how an ordinary...
But she's still got a place to...
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or... In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will, of course, take time. But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalor the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her burdens and lead a normal life.
What about you, then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full powers as the
After Focalor passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts. From now on, I shall hear cases and pass verdicts.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the perspective of the Udex.
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty, as such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine. Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer produce indemnitium.
That's true. That power was derived from the people's faith in the Hydro Hydro Archon, wasn't it? Wait, but the various mechs and machines in the city are all still okay.
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite leave Fontaine immediately.
Wow. This ancient dragon's authority stuff is
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it to the name as a dip.
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed done much for us during this. Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis. The Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not need the Gnosis. As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now, and avoid unnecessary.
What complicated considerations?
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume?
Fuck yeah!
I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about that. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
A nation of dragons?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself well. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Large numbers of them have entered a form of coexistence with. Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an undying. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the Knave. The Harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer. Seriously, everywhere you look, there's a Fatui.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still When we spoke to Lenny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving away the Gnosis had clearly... We guessed that there might be some reason for it that only...
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something. In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
I'm an emotional person.
Well, we're going to head topside to see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, all right, Nervalet?
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power, what it's made of. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before.
I do not know what you
Of course. You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yeah?
Remains? I've never...
According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis, but I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you...
I've been training with my master, the Foul, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense. Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from befalling. To live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to curses.
What do you mean by...
No need to fret. These are just my... personal thoughts.
This third descender you refer to, who are...
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you.
Next time, you...
I do. Wait, I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger then.
Did you just make him a fucking errand boy now? He went from Harbinger, Battle Maniac, War Buddy, person who almost destroyed Leeway, to fucking Message Boy.
Wait, are you at chapter 9 yet? I'm almost there. I'm at page...
Oh, it's loading. I was like, why the fuck am I not seeing anything? Why do my own screen all black? But no, my feet was blocking the fucking loading.
Go faster! I'm dyslexic, bitch. Leave me the...
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
I am tired. I have a headache.
Descender?
I am fucking dizzy in the head.
Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a
I have no idea what the fuck is happening.
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding or special metaphor at play, that
I'm
is
not
what she meant
tired
to
like
say.
need sleep. I'm tired like what the fuck just happened? What the fuck did I just see?
Check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
If she speaks the truth,
I can't say shit, but
I guess that you might already. That means that the Gnosis, which are
at least
exceedingly
I know I
element
can
compatible
rewatch
and can
all
even
this
enhance elemental
when I want to.
No, let's not think about this stuff right now. Comparing the Traveler to the...
This is a fucking 3-hour video just to rewatch.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind.
Alright.
Yes. All of
what I'm
Focalor's
making,
efforts were for this
not
moment
what
as
I'm
well.
watching. It's what I'm making.
I suppose that would be the mystery. I suspect
just
not.
Live streamed the
But
whole
once in a while, I too would guess that if wishes were like life flows like water, and what ultimate.
And finally, it is done. I can. Okay, there it is. Okay, good day. I am ending my live.